My name is Dr. Todd. Let's talk about the power of empathy to correct and connect with your children. Sometimes it can be tough to know what to say to your children, to get through to them. Our kids can be distant, they can be defiant, they can be insecure, and we as parents can struggle to know what the real issue is or even how to best tackle it. In this video, I want to share some insight with you that I've learned over 25 years as a psychologist. And I've worked with kids, adolescents, and their families this entire time. I want to get to the heart of parenting, which is the ability to connect with your child and the ability to correct their behavior using the amazing power of empathy. So let's get started. Empathy is magical. It draws people to you. It creates connection with others. Just the other day, my son came up to me with something that was bothering him. He was disappointed in himself for something that he had done. And I think he expected that I was going to be disappointed in him too. He had basically, without giving too many details, he had carelessly hurt someone's feelings, and he had said some things that he knew he shouldn't. And if I were there, he would have heard it from me. And now he was kind of feeling badly about it. And he was telling me about this. He was staring at the ground and he was having a hard time get the words out. And I just remember as he was telling me this, I'm thinking to myself, yep, that's something I would have done as a kid. I've done a lot of dumb things in my life too. And my response was just that, basically. I just said, hey, I understand. I'm certainly not perfect. Just acknowledging that this is wrong is a really great thing for you. And now you can go fix it and then you can move on. I told him, I've done things like this too, and I still think you're such an awesome kid. And then he looked up at me and he smiled. And I think it just felt good for him that I didn't judge him, I didn't criticize him, but rather I just kind of related to him. It was a nice moment that we had. It was just this small little thing, but it really felt like it deepened our connection a little bit. Let me share with you another story. A while ago, I worked with a teenage girl. We'll call her Anna, and we'll call her mom Kathy. And I worked with them throughout this day. And at the end of the day, we were standing in their kitchen together, and Anna just casually opened up to her mom. And I was there, I was kind of in the background, but she did this in my presence. And she started talking to her mom about this pain that she was experiencing with a boy. And she really liked this boy, and she felt like he was different from the other boys, and she felt like he liked her too. But this boy would just suddenly stop responding to her text messages. He would go silent for a long period of time. And at the moment, he was apparently ignoring her. And you could tell that Anna was hurt by this. And as she was sharing this with her mom, I watched Kathy immediately go into advice mode. It was startling for me to see this in real time, because it was as if Anna was speaking from the heart and Kathy was speaking from her head. And there was this huge disconnect. And I observed a few things as I was sitting there in their kitchen watching this unfold. As soon as Anna started to open up emotionally, Kathy got anxious and she started fidgeting, and she would interrupt and she would start making suggestions about what the boy was probably thinking, what Anna should be doing about it. And she just started making suggestions and giving advice. That basically ended the conversation before I even had a chance to get going. Anna shut down and she stopped talking, and Kathy literally had no idea what went wrong. Before I tell you more about this story, I just want to thank you for watching this video. Are you struggling to communicate with your child or to discipline them effectively? None of us is handed a manual when our kids are born, the manual that has all the rules and things we should do and shouldn't do. We kind of have to wing it. We have to learn by trial and error. This channel I've created is all about using my system of correcting and connecting to build a strong, trusting, influential relationship with your child. If that's the kind of thing you want to know more about, like my video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with any friends you think it would benefit. Now let's get back to this story. As a side note, I've asked literally thousands of parents and couples about what's troubling them in their relationships. Almost without fail, people tell me they have a communication problem. They will say things like, we just don't communicate, or he never wants to talk with me. And I suppose you could call what happened with Anna and Kathy a communication problem, but more fundamentally, I think it was an empathy problem. Anna was looking to talk about something that bothered her, that hurt her, and I can guarantee you she was not looking for advice. She just wanted to vent. She wanted to be heard. She kind of wanted to get what was on the inside to the outside. And that's always what makes us feel better when we can do that. And Kathy's response, although it was well-meaning, it came from her own anxiety, which prevented her from feeling empathy or even expressing empathy to her daughter. And I think that's all this kid really wanted. I believe for the most part that listening is a form of connection, and advice is a form of disconnection. Listening is empathy, advice is a lack of empathy. But you know what? I screw this up all the time myself. I'll share with you another example. My youngest daughter often comes to me with what she calls dilemmas. And she's unusually open with me, but these are mostly dilemmas about social situations. Like she's not sure how to handle things with boys or with her girlfriends, and I'll admit, I often can't resist the temptation to tell her what to do. It's like I can see it very clearly in my mind, so I just want to tell her what to do and then she can solve it. But if I do that, 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100, she thinks my ideas are stupid and she blows me off. And I have learned she's not looking for advice from me when she comes to me with these dilemmas. Even if she says she's looking for advice, she's not really looking for advice. What she just needs is a little empathy. She needs to be heard. She needs to know that I understand how difficult this must be for her. The last time I was in a situation with her, I stopped giving advice, and I did just that. I remember in my head thinking, okay, I'm just gonna listen. So I just listened, and I nodded my head in understanding, and I made eye contact with her, those simple little things you do when you listen well. And I expressed, how frustrating this must be for you. When you do what I just did, it actually feels like you're doing nothing. Like it feels like you're not doing maybe what you think you should be doing. But her response, without even realizing what she was saying, was, "Thanks, Dad, I feel better now." And that was the end of it. And so empathy, listening well, resisting the temptation to give advice, those are the things I want you to think about. If you can do these things, it'll open your kids up to you. You'll become someone they want to share personal things with. It'll deepen your relationship with them. And when you deepen your relationship with them, you also deepen your influence with them. Do you sometimes struggle to discipline your child effectively? Do they misbehave or act out or leave you scratching your head wondering what to do or even how to reach them at all? I've spent the last 25 years as a clinical psychologist, and I work primarily with children, adolescents, young adults, and their families. And I've seen how these principles I teach have benefited my own family and so many others. And I want you and your family to have this too. That's why I've created a free ebook about how to discipline effectively. And believe me, it is not what you think. This will help you correct and connect with your child. It contains information from my 25 years as a psychologist, and it's designed to give you an understanding of effective parenting tools as well as practical steps you can take starting right now. Just go to drtoddtalks.com or click the link in the video description below, give me your details, and I'll send it right over.